to talk about what makes an enterprise missional. What is a missional enterprise? If you've heard this term BAM, or business as missions, business as missions has become kind of a buzzword. We teach this class as missional enterprise class because there's business as missions, but then there's ministry as enterprise, and both of them need basically what the other has. So if you're a kingdom person, God has created you in His image, to be His image to the world. He says in Matthew 6, He says, seek first the kingdom. So we kind of get our why, our core why is settled. One of the things we teach at G42, which for the Global U students, we might have said this on Friday because it's something that's important to me. But we have this really nice quote that our generation loves, which is, don't ask yourself what the world needs, ask yourself what makes you come alive, because what the world needs is people who have come fully alive, right? Just like the quote of the millennials. We love that. And so because of that quote, we go to a job for a year and we don't find life in that job, so we quit. And we go to another job for a year and we don't find life in that job, so we quit. So then we travel and backpack around the world for a year and we feel okay for a little while, but then we go home and we're like, this sucks. So then we just say, like, how can I backpack for the rest of my life? I know, I'll be an Instagram influencer. Or something like that, right? We're trying to find life from the world around us. We're going into every circumstance saying, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? What's in it for me? Does this country satisfy me? Does this job satisfy me? And that is not abundant life. Jesus says, I have come that you may have life and have it abundantly. He says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Paul says, I've determined to know nothing except this, Christ and Him crucified. So for Paul had his why settled. Paul had his meaning, or where he finds his life. And so one of the processes on your journey, whether you're at Global U or G42, is if you leave this journey, we really are hoping that you have an encounter with Christ in such a transformative way that you would affirm the statement, the purpose of my life is Christ and His kingdom. Once you've got to that place where the purpose of your life is Christ and His kingdom, that why is off the table. You're no longer going into the world seeking what's in it for me. You're now actually become a life source to the world around you, where you're actually asking a different question. What's in me for it? What's in me for the world around me? What do I see that God's gifted me with? What are the passions and talents that He's gifted me with? What am I actually drawn to? At G42 we would say, what oppression in the world am I uniquely designed to free people from? Because the business of Jesus in the kingdom is freeing the oppressed and then making disciples, okay? And so we have our marching orders. It's going to look different. I'm not saying that you should go do something that you absolutely hate and doesn't line up with your passions. I'm simply saying if you try to get life from what you do, you'll always fail, because life is found in Christ. Then you bring what He's poured into you, and you bring it into the world around you. So we say, don't try to come alive by what you do. Come alive by who you are, a child of God. And then for God's sakes, ask yourself what the world needs. Because the world needs so much. It needs the love of Christ in so many different ways. And if we're not asking what the world needs, who is? We're literally sent to this earth as kings and priests, as people who are supposed to free oppressed and make disciples. Those are the two mandates of kings and priests, of a royal priesthood, a group of people who are designed to look like Jesus on the planet, and we have to be about the business of the kingdom. And so when we're doing that, whether we're doing a business that's making money, or we're doing a ministry that needs to fund its staff, we're doing it as a missional enterprise. So basically anything we do, or as an organization, we're going to do it with a missional focus.